I'm loving it. By the way, what's your sign? I bet it is compatible with mine.
Welcome back to the Stockwell Rocher Show. I'm Jason Stockwell with RE/MAX Results.
Don Eldridge, RE/MAX Results.
And we have Jason Light with Envoy Mortgage and Jill Ivanacek here, who is the president and CEO of the Ronald McDonald House Charities here in the Twin Cities. And we were talking on the last segment about what the Ronald McDonald House does. Very substantial. And the locations and the number of rooms and families that are helped. Over 4,000. They actually have a school there. They're on Oak Street. I think that was a 75-room facility. You're at Children's Hospitals in Minneapolis. You're at Gillette Children's Specialty in St. Paul. And you're at Children's Clinics in St. Paul as well. So multiple facilities for people out of state or outside 60 miles of the Twin Cities, or facilities for people that are right here in the Twin Cities to be close to the loved ones that are near and dear to them while they're going through any turmoil or operations or whatever it may be. There's all kinds of scenarios, correct?
Right.
That can happen and go with it. So your organization provides that. You can help Ronald McDonald House by donating or by volunteering in multiple arenas. We went over on break or before break about the cleaning, cooking, feeding, helping out with lawn care, landscaping, and teaching, all kinds of avenues to help. And there's a lot of need out there. Is there still, if you're serving over 4,000 families, clearly there's a lot of need, right, for this?
Right. And, we are, 95 to 99% full most of the time. So,
really?
We did open a brand new facility at St. Paul Children's this year, which has been a great addition. We just can't accommodate everybody who needs assistance. And we'd like to do that at some point. But, McDonald's is a great partner of ours. They provide for us about 20% of our overall revenue. So we're still,
really?
We're out there looking for, companies and people and individuals to contribute to us so we can serve these families. And, we really consider them that we want them to consider themselves at home. And so we have all kinds of activities planned throughout the week. We do bingo every Thursday with prizes. This week, we're having the families go downstairs in our storage area where we've had literally thousands of toys donated. And they can pick out toys for their kids. We bring them upstairs. We have volunteers that wrap them. We put them in a big bag, so they're all there Christmas Eve and Christmas Day for them. So we have a need for in-kind. We serve a lot of food, cleaning products, anything that would take to run a house. Electronics, televisions, things like that, sheets, towels. All those things are, if we don't get donated, then we're spending, dollars on that.
Awesome. And what else, is there anything else that the public wouldn't know? Like, a lot of this is new to me as far as what the Ronald McDonald House does. I honestly didn't know exactly the role of what it was or what it does, what you guys do.
Well, I think it's really interesting. I just saw these statistics that when we take the cost of, staying in a hotel room and eating meals and what we save families. The last I saw from July of this year to November 30th of this year, we've saved families over $2.2 million.
Wow.
And if you extrapolate that over a year, that's probably more than $5 million of savings to our families. And so that is significant.
So do they reach out to you and just say, hey, or is it how does it work? I mean, heaven forbid something happens where a loved one or a kid goes in for surgery or has some illness, right? Right. And then what happens then?
So what happens is really they're recommended through their social workers at our hospitals. And so the social workers provide us with the list of people, and then we work with them from there. But we try and make it as easy as possible. There's a small orientation that goes with it. We show them where everything is. If they have kids that need to be enrolled in school, we'll get that done as well to try to make it just a seamless, easy process as possible. I want to tell you a little story of what happened today, and these are the things I get to hear almost every day at the Ronald McDonald House. We had a family from Fort Worth, Texas, whose son was getting a bone marrow transplant treatment for a skin disease. and they've been here since April, and it has been very up and down. The skin disease, it's what happens is you touch the skin and it actually disappears. They call them the butterfly kids, and they don't have enough collagen, and it's a genetic disease, and it's very life-threatening because of infection. And so any sort of friction against the skin will tear the skin off. And so there's a clinical study being done at the U of M to see if the bone marrow transplant would correct that defect. So one of our families who's been here with their 5-year-old since April, unfortunately, he went through some very traumatic times recently and just passed away last week. Today, I got to meet the fire department who lives near them in Fort Worth, Texas. And the fire department, who became friends with the boy who passed away, decided that Grandma and Grandpa, who are up here right now, shouldn't have to pack all the stuff in a trailer and get a car and take it back to Fort Worth. So instead, they drove up from Fort Worth, these 4 firemen, on their own time, and they came up, they gave plane tickets to the grandparents that say, you just go fly home, we'll pack your stuff, we'll get your stuff, and we'll get it back to your house. Don't you worry about anything.
Wow.
I mean, how extraordinary is that? And you really get to see the best of people, and it's real gratefulness. And I think everybody has empathy for people who are put in this terrible position, in a position we can only sort of imagine ourselves in. But there's, they said this is all very bittersweet. We hate to leave. We consider this home. And this has been, an adventure for us. But it's, it's time. They'll be leaving today, and then in their room will come another family who's going through some very hard times. And we hope, for the best of outcomes. But, some of these kids are very severely ill. And at least here in our community, they're really given a great chance. We have a wonderful medical community, and we just relish our relationship with all of our hospital partners who are giving people the best shot that they have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a lot. Children's, I know, is one of the, best. People that, from what I hear in St. Paul, I don't, or maybe not in Minneapolis, but I see people through social media a lot that have, a lot of people in my age group out of college are having kids, and if there's something wrong, or something happens, they go to Children's right away, and they nothing but rave reviews about how they're treated, how the children are treated, and the facilities and the staff. And I believe Tori on the team here that's also with us, her husband works at Children's too, which is great. He does videography, I believe, or something with the kids for them to because they're in there. These poor kids are in there being. They got to know something's up, right?
Right.
They're in a hospital, so and I think he's takes their mind away a little bit from the daily dealings of treatment, for whatever it is that they're going through. So very, very touching and sad, and it's tough position to be in to see that going on every day, right? How do you cope with that, or do you?
Well, I think we're doing the best that we can for them right at that time. We're providing everything that we can to ensure that their family is as comfortable and feels like they're at home, and we're trying to make sure that they're not skip a beat. And that's where we feel like our service is.
Yeah.
And so if we're doing that, we feel good. But it's hard not to, my office is right next to the school, so I get to see these kids every day, and I love every second of it. And it's hard to see some of the kids who, if their sibling passes away, we won't see them for a long time. But my hope is that we can create some sort of annual event to bring these families back together. I think that makes sense, and whether that's a walk or a barbecue or a picnic at some point, because everybody becomes very close to each other. And, kids who have been through this in their lives, they never, ever forget it. Never forget staying at the Ronald McDonald house.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good to hear. That's cool. That's and that's what a great service to provide for them, so that they can be right there next to the family when you're going through such a tough situation and tough treatments. I think that's wonderful. I'm so glad that I learned more about Ronald McDonald House and what they do and what you guys do. So thank you, Jill, for sharing, and
thank you.
Thank you for the time. And if there's any questions about if anybody wants to volunteer or donate, is there a website? Or
Yeah,
should they
please
call?
come to our website, Ronald McDonald House Charities Upper Midwest. You can find, if you click on my picture, you get my email. So feel free to email me, call me, and I'd love, for you to be involved. I mean, everybody who comes into our house just walks away saying what a blessing it is. And I know that you'd feel the same.
That's awesome. We'll be back with more. Thanks again, Jill. Jill Ivanocek, who's the president and CEO of the Ronald McDonald House Charities here in the Upper Midwest. So we have great facilities, and go ahead and donate or volunteer if you have the time or the willingness to do so. We'll be back with more.